What's up, everybody? How are you? It's Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. Excuse me, I caught a cold. Uh, we don't ask how, why, or whatever. We know colds come now, and that's what they do. How are you all feeling? I had a wonderful weekend. Of course, for those that don't know, I am a co-owner in a restaurant, Row House, and I'm having the time of my life. I'm having a good thing. Uh, how are you all doing? So, I'm spending a lot of time there. We have a great lineup. We have, Wednesdays. We have Wednesdays there. You can go there and check out Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have open mic. Fridays, we have a nice little after work mixer. You should all enjoy that. If you want to come out after work and have some fun, you definitely can do that. That's the place to be. Saturdays, you already know it's a nice turn up. So don't think it's not. Every Saturday we're at Row House. We're partying. Nice brunch parties. Sunday, awesome brunch, jazz brunch. So, and also on us, the second and the fourth Wednesdays of the month, we have a nice little international music DJ that does his thing, bringing you all music from all different genres of life. So that's what's up. Tonight's Real Talk Chronicles with Alyson Williams, Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Next week, we have Dr. Mack, Teresa Mack, and I think her husband, Jay Mack. They will be on the show. So we've added two more doctors to the bill that we can give you more insight and positive feedback and stuff on what we're doing in the world and giving you the best content we can. This would be a good time if I was talking to them now, right? Especially with a cold. But there's a lot going on in the world today, as you know. We have an election coming up. Whatever you do, please vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you any of that. I'm trying to pick that up this Wednesday with the fellas and find out your thoughts and things of that magnitude. But what I will tell you is that it's important to vote. I get it. People don't like Biden, think he's too old. People like Trump for whatever reason. That's who you are, and that's what you do. My thing is, dude was talking about bloodshed. Patriots. He called January 6 people, the insurrection, patriots. Okay. That's how you label them, patriots? You would think a person that has 91 indictments, a whole bunch of problems, he shut the F up. And just run off the non-committal policies that he says that people are like, I love his policies. Okay. But you figured you would go for that, just let the man do his talking. But no, he likes to keep talking rhetoric. And without further ado, let me bring, of course, you see all the sponsors at the bottom. Without further ado, let me bring Miss Alyson Williams in. Hello, Alyson. How are you?
Oh, man, how are you?
I'm good. Just a little cold, ain't nothing. I can handle it. I'm working.
You look good. You look bright and vibrant.
Yeah, with no sun, I get a little lighter. You know what I'm saying? when the weather change and the sun really stays on me, I'll be like, okay, people always say, your little gifts are not you, but they're me. It's just not me with sun in my face. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
I am working hard. I think the last time we spoke, hold on, Bill, I'm trying to plug the phone up. I just remembered it accident. I've heard something hit the floor, and now I know what it was. It was
like I said, I'll while you do that, I'll give a little public service announcement. So everybody, please look at the sponsorships at the bottom. Soft Illusions Art Gallery. Malika will be doing 2 events. One in April, I think in Philly, and the other one in at Row House in May. Hey Vera, with the wonderful last name. How are you? So stay tuned for those dates. But also too, Alyson, I know I was about to I just asked you how you doing. But I was just before you logged on, I was talking about politics, right? And I guess I want to get your insight.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, absolutely. From just your personal feelings. Well, let me do my segue. Okay, you have some artists that don't mind speaking out, and you saw some artists in the past that would speak out about certain things. But then recently, when Trump ran for office the first time, and what he was saying against Hillary, and he won, and then he was talking about Barack and stuff like that. You had a lot of artists coming out, especially when he got in office. People were speaking out. So you have some gentlemen like Denzel that kind of doesn't say anything. He talks about righteousness, but he doesn't really say I'm for a left or a right, and that's fine. I have no problems with that. You have some people like Robert De Niro, Bruce Springsteen. I think Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis. They were all for Trump at a point. So some people don't have a problem speaking out. Just in your personal feelings, or just what you do know. Do artists tend to feel like if they speak out, it'll kind of mess with their money, per se?
I would imagine that artists on a certain level may have concerns about what their personal political views being made public would do to their fan base or to the people that might otherwise support them or not. But I can't speak on that personally because I don't find myself in a quote unquote financial tax bracket where what I think about whoever's running or whoever's standing still really matters. Right. But if I were asked, what I felt about the political landscape right now, I think our government is in a shambles.
Right.
We're underwater and upside down at the same time. And I'm just constantly trying to find ways that I can, as one independently, can make a difference. So if it means being more vigilant in my community, knowing who the people are that are making policy where I am. I'm not in Washington. I'm not on Capitol Hill. I'm not in the White House. I'm just in a little town called Winston-Salem, and I'm from New York. So that makes it different for me because now I have to learn to navigate these waters. I don't know what these southern waters are here. Really, who the different players are. I knew how to stand up and stand out in New York because that's my home. And I knew I could have support and how to support places like National Action Network with NAN, with Reverend Sharpton. I knew where to, how to be vigilant and in my community. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to do that, and I knew how that would parlay into moving into the rooms of Washington because I knew who the players were. So, I just have to, like I said, make myself be more diligent because I think every voice makes a difference. whatever you're shouting out, your voice is going to make a difference,
Right.
and there's a great cross section of people that want to shout out the name Trump, and that's how they're rolling, and every
Yeah.
time they shout it, it makes a difference for that particular group of folks.
Yeah.
But those who are not supporters of Trump have to make our voice heard too.
Very much so. Yeah.
Then you have to say, well, for the Black and brown communities, then you have to say, well, I'm not. Maybe you're not a fan of Biden.
Yes.
What do
right,
you do then? That then you've got the independent, if you got this one, you've got the liberal, and there's a lot of roads. We just have to figure out how to take one.
Yes.
It's better to say something than to remain mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. So
what's so funny? What do you think about when people say that Joe is too old?
That's a slippery slope. I don't
Right.
think he's too old necessarily.
Right.
I look back at the founding fathers, and they seem to have been 1,000 years old apiece.
Yeah.
Unless they were just
absolutely.
bad bitches, Unless I actually, if I looked up and he was on an address to the nation and he nodded out or spaced out or pushed the wrong button by accident and activated something major, I don't think he's, the man don't have dementia. He's not in the early stage, Alzheimer's. He just keeps having birthdays. I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? That age might bring the wisdom. That age might bring the thing that we need. You know what I'm saying? That might take a slower, more passive approach, but nonetheless an approach as opposed to just a crash landing. You know what I mean? So I'm not. I think that we wouldn't want anybody to tell us we were too old to do our job, would we?
No.
They didn't come to you before you retired from law enforcement and say, Bill, you're just too old.
Yeah,
we don't think you can cut it no more.
Yeah, you can't.
You're just too old.
Just because
you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot.
There's a lot of people always talk about, oh yeah, sometimes have you heard them speak? But shit, I know a lot of young people that can't put them words together good either. So I mean, what does that say for it? And then now you got the one on the other side that his verb and adjective game is crazy. He just saying all kind of stuff. Talking about, so he just, I don't know if you heard, he just said the other day that if he doesn't get elected, there's going to be a bloodbath. And he thinks the people for January 6th insurrection were patriots. And I was just saying before like you said, you chimed in, you logged on, is that, if he just shut up and went on the policies that, and I'm sure not trying to tell a man how to win. I hope every day he put his foot in the mouth. But you know what? If I had 91 indictments against me, you figure I'd try to kind of lay low. You know what I'm trying to say?
He's trying to take it on the. We live in a world now where bad is good.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to take it the other way. I tell you one thing, I didn't hear what you heard. And I'm sure if I went back to, just go back into the news feeds over the last couple of days, from what you're saying, he's contradicting what he just said, that there was no insurrection and there was nothing happened and it wasn't anything he was involved with. Now he's saying he thinks that the people from January 6th were patriots.
Yeah.
From the insurrection. So if you don't believe there was an insurrection, you can't address it as an insurrection.
And he also said, if I get that,
and for you to say that you didn't have anything to do with it, or your words did not fuel it, now you're saying there's going to be a bloodbath. Well, that sounds like you're planting seeds.
Yeah, he says if you don't get it, it's going to be a bloodbath. And the thing is, he said if he gets reelected, gets in office, he says he would his first call of duty would get those patriots out of jail. I said, oh my God. Okay. So all right. So much for what's going on around the world and in Haiti and other places. I get it. You're worried about getting patriots out. Okay. Anyway, shout out everybody who's ever watched, who's listening. Shout out to all the women. It's Women's Month. We wish you all.
It's Women's History Month.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I really do. for all the Pisces that have been celebrating birthdays and stuff like that. Keep rocking. Um, is there anything you want to talk about? Oh, you know what's so funny? I was just when we was talking about politics and the artistry. There was recently you had some young artists. They came out and was talking about, oh, we rock with Trump because he freed people in jail. And I always tell people, I was just on an email in regards to something, and I try to tell people, please be informed when you start hearing just half of the information. You know, it wasn't Trump's bill that what was releasing people out of jail. It was a bill that was already implemented ahead of him. And a lot of people don't know that. What's up, Jonathan? How you feel, man? Shout out to everybody watching, chiming in. This Real Talk Chronicles. That's Alyson Williams, and I am Bill Forster. And you know, we're gonna top it up with you for a quick hour. You know, it's cold. They don't have a man down, but you know, I'm against the ropes today, so I can regroup and chill and not lose this voice. I don't have a voice like Alyson, but I don't want to lose the one I have.
Hey, you should be talking and sipping on tea at the same time.
I am. I'm going to get it. I'm definitely going to get it. T minus. What have you been up to, Alyson? What's going on with you?
Well, I've been kind of I've been laying down low since. Well, I had a wonderful thing happen for New Year's Eve. I was in Delaware with DETV. That's Delaware TV. Ivan Thomas and his incredible crew of people. They put on a really wonderful black tie gala. It was a fundraiser, a party with a purpose, New Year's Eve party, and it was really, really wonderful. It was myself, some really wonderful local artists from the Delaware area, as well as Adam Blackstone. And we brought it in class and style and elegance and excellence. And it was really wonderful. The organizations we were raising funds for were My Sister's Keeper and the Love and Hope Mission, which provides meals and other outreach type things for the homeless and for people. Basically, the platform was mental health, mental wellness, and behavioral wellness, which we know the narrative has widened, but the circle is so much bigger than we ever even imagined, and we are seeing people presenting with mental issues, big and small scale. So these two particular organizations are in the business of making sure that people have can get the help they need, can find the outreach that they need, and so on and so forth. So it was really wonderful to be there for that. Right after New Year's Eve, it was all moving. I'm still here in Winston, but I've moved from one space to another. And anybody who knows the word move knows that is really, really a major undertaking. And especially for a person like myself, I've lived in a lot of places where and travel so much for what I do for my craft that sometimes I have to give up a place as opposed to paying two rents, or, you know, if you're just not going to be in a space, why pay for it, especially in New York? So that would lead you to put things in storage. And anybody knows whether you got a garage or whether you got a public storage space or a pod, you know what it is when you have storage. So I was able to clean out my storage space and bring everything into one place. I got it down here in North Carolina, and then I was finally able, with this space, to be able to have everything. It's a daunting undertaking because it's so much. You're not just taking things out of boxes and putting them away. You have to sort it, you have to purge it, throw it away. What's going to Goodwill? Who's coming to pick this up? I want to give this to this charity. I want to maybe hold on to this a little bit more. This going in the trash for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's that whole thing, and it takes a minute.
Especially you see things, you be like, I can get back in this. I just got to drop 5 pounds. You know what I'm saying? 3 pounds.
Listen. I'm giving away clothes because I've lost so much weight. I can't. There's a lot of stuff. I've never been so thin before.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I'm not complaining. Hey,
but it's anybody want to help Alyson unpack? Go to You know, we'll give you the address later. Hey, Alyson,
I don't really need you to help me unpack. I need you to be my social worker. What is a social worker? That's when you sit and be social while I work. That's all I need. Just sit and be social while I work.
Hey, Allie, let me ask you a question. We was talking. I was watching something. The NAACP just had awards, and it seemed like it was very entertaining and exciting. And
yeah, I saw part of the show. I didn't see the whole thing. I'm trying to go back and watch it from the beginning, but I came in, I think, midway.
Right. And of course, you know, a big topic came about when Taji P. Henson was talking about her not getting equal pay as maybe men, or I'm trying to find out, is she saying men or is she talking about white actors too? So, oh yeah, she said, yeah, I think she did address not getting paid white actors. What's your thought process when it comes to women getting the same financial compensation as excuse me, white artists or women, even with women with black men, you know, men of color, you know, women of color don't get the same. Let me know what your thoughts are.
I believe that there has to be, there should be some changes made, certainly in the way that actors are paid, men to women, black actor to white actor and actress. There definitely needs to be some changes made. It's been a long time coming, and of course we see ourselves winning Oscars and taking major awards and so on and so forth, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's still a lot of changes that need to be made. I don't know how they come to the numbers that they issue out when it comes to who makes this to do this film, or how much an actor gets per episode, and so on and so forth for television. But I know that if there's a discrepancy at all, that needs to be addressed, because it just shouldn't be. How can I do the same amount of work you do and not make what you make?
Yeah.
With the exception of if you've been in the game longer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could come into a situation where I'm gonna work on a project, say with a Denzel Washington. You know what I'm saying? Or someone, he's been in the game longer, so he's going to be able to negotiate a different kind of fee. But when it comes to people who are right, you know, in your colleague kind of equal, you know, situation, and certainly if I've been in the game as long as my white counterpart, then I should be looking at the same kind of numbers, or expect to be able to be in the same kind of consideration as they are.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? I was just thinking about that, because I'm sure Denzel probably is one individual of any nationality that can go in a room and going to dictate what he wants to get paid. Because they talked about at Will Smith when he was doing his thing before, you know, that situation, like he was getting 20 mil a movie. And, you know, I'm sure he was one of those top actors. And I remember, but I was thinking, I think I had heard, or I think I read somewhere, I shouldn't say I heard, I read somewhere where Robert Downey Jr. had gotten $50 million a movie to play Iron Man in the Marvel series, in the Avengers series. Now, I would wonder, with that being said, if him and Denzel were playing in a movie together, would those numbers be equal? You know what I'm trying to say? Because, I don't see one person.
And then what happens is this. Here's Robert Downey Jr., who for a long time they couldn't even insure him because he was unstable because of his addictions. And he's spoken openly about that. So, but you're still paying this person top dollar, even though they're a liability.
Yeah.
Now here comes Denzel. He's also a top-notch artist. Certainly has not had those kind of things follow him. You know, from what his track record is, he's professional, so on and so forth. Now he's no longer with us, but just because I can't think of anybody right now in the same realm. Here comes the movie is here, and here comes Sidney Poitier, and he's going to be cast in the movie. Right. What do you do then?
Yeah.
How do Robert Downing and Denzel fare and throw Will in there too. How do they fare when you bring that type of royalty into the situation? You already know he's going to do his job. You already know he's going to play his role. Do you throw in an extra $5 million just because he's him? Well, you know, we're going to give him, it's 20 for everybody, 20 million across the board. We're going to give him an extra 5 because he's who he is.
Yeah,
how does that work? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny that you said that. Yeah, because I mean, think about somebody. You got a Sidney Poitier or Marlon Brando, and I'm, you know, that we're talking about two legendary actors that I'm sure to get them in a movie, you got to or dangle some money, you know, just acceptable. And for these elite actors at this time, you know, say Robert Downey Jr.'s Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, Denzel, Will Smith, and Brad Pitt, and you know, everybody sitting at this table, they getting this one of these colossal movies together, and they're gonna say, "Well, listen, y'all, you know, the budget is whatever $1 billion, but we got Denzel and Marlon Brando, I mean Sidney and Marlon coming on. What you think we gonna tell them? Even if they got a co-star role, they still getting millions just to sit at that table, man."
Exactly.
Stefania, shout out to everybody watching this Real Talk Chronicles. Melvin's in the building. He said, "What's up to you, Allie, and everybody else?" Stefania says, "I don't think that. Matter of fact, I'll put it on the board. So, Allie, because you haven't been here around, we just put the questions up right now. So there, you can see it right there.
Well, the jury's still out if I can see it, but I'm trying. I don't think that's how it goes with acting. I would think it's. I'm losing it now.
So she says, she thinks it's so more your skill set, and if you can carry a movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there's going to be I understand what you're saying. It is according to how you can put butts in seats. It's that too. But there's going to be a certain amount of respect that has to be paid to the person who led the way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I mean,
you know, a lot of people might say, well, Marlon Brando or Sidney Poitier, bless their hearts, might not be able to carry a movie for the younger audience, but that still doesn't take away from what they already did. Some of their fan base might not even be alive to come and see them in a movie, you know, but that it doesn't mean that for instance, if those actors hadn't been around, had not done what they did when they were at the height of their career, there wouldn't be a Denzel Washington, there wouldn't be a Leo, there wouldn't be any of them.
Yeah, she also says,
you know, so I don't, like I said, I don't know how that works. I am now just making a serious transition, a concerted effort to transition into more film and television, and of course back to the stage, along with still continuing to sing. So I can't speak of what I don't know. But I'm looking for that. I don't know what's going to be a Pine Sol commercial or a Gecko commercial, but I'm trying to be in something that'll lead me to the next, and you know, there you have it.
She also said,
I'll have to let y'all know what I can let y'all know what that bottom line just starting out, what do you call that, ground level check look like.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how that feels.
It's so funny. That's what she just said. She said starting at the same rate, I would think it's more of a corporate thing or like a state job, for example. Well, what I can say is I know this for a fact. Extra work, non-union is different than extra work being union.
Of course.
I know that because I've done it. I'm assuming it does go with your body of work, but then you can look at people like Jamie Foxx, and you know, he won an Oscar for Ray. I mean, Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar, right? For what is it? Show Me the Money, or what was the movie with I think Tom Cruise. But trust me, Cuba Gooding Jr. right now can't even go in the same conversation and have a talk with to get the same money as Jamie Foxx is, I don't think. And he sure can't get the same money as Denzel. Now, all three of them got an Oscar in their pocket, right? But that conversation is totally different. So when we talk about body of work, and I thought Cuba should have got an Oscar for playing a real life story in Men of Honor. If you haven't seen that, it's definitely an excellent movie. It's a true story based on a true story. So I get it, but the bottom line is, I guess starting out at entry level, excuse me, and once you get that Oscar, and what is it called? What's the Oscar, the Emmy? What's that, Elliot?
It's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Yeah, the Ignat or whatever it's called, or something. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I guess when you get that, when you go that and put that on the table with your resume, what can somebody tell you? The numbers, like I'm sure there's here we go.
Well, I have something to put on the table. If there's anybody out there trying to hire a sister who's got at least one of them, we're working on the other one. Yeah. I got one. Just so you know.
Yep. So I mean, I guess when every award you get, that goes on a resume. You know, maybe the numbers change.
This is how I see it. You know, as you say, you look at Jamie Foxx, you look at Denzel, you look at Cuba, you look at all these men who did wonderful work, and all the other artists and actors that we mentioned. It comes down to, you know, what that thing is that Taraji, I believe, is trying to get to the heart of, and what have you. It must come down to a corporate decision and so on and so forth, because all those folks did good work. All those folks received awards. Cuba got an award and then had personal issues in his life that muddied his water. Robert Downey Jr. had muddy water and cleaned up his water supply, and then now has the Oscar, and he can celebrate not only Oscar but sobriety for what we know. So that, you know, so look how where your pitfalls come. Will Smith slapped a man in the face on television and still won an Oscar that night.
Yeah.
So how people get paid is something, unless you've been in the room or at the table, or that's your craft, and therefore you know what the union rates are and non-union rates. So you have to, you know, figure it out. And I think what happens is once you figure out how the game is played, as it were, that's when you start making a decision. Do I want to stand on a platform and speak out, or do I want to keep my mouth shut and keep working, or whatever the case may be?
Now, you know what's so funny?
That's what Taraji is right now. She's decided to take a higher road and say something at the risk of not ever being able to say anything again.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that depending on it, you know, I mean, listen, if she speak up and she get the people of color money, then the white women should be getting the color money, because I mean, it was good that Queen Latifah told everybody that was in the audience to, you know, to stand up for having women getting equal rights. But it also affects in sports. Women athletes don't get the same as men athletes.
Mm-hmm. But they're fighting every day.
You know, and you keep trying, especially since, you know, I'm gonna stay on this topic since we're talking about Women's Month. You know, it is something that it's a shame that ladies, especially women of color, because women of color right now are the smartest individuals in this country. They're the ones with the most degrees than any nationality and culture. So it's a shame that they still have to fight. Women have to fight for that dollar, you know, to get an equal dollar, and you know, to go to school and get 100 degrees and still can't, you know, boom, or just be just as talented. And it was just so funny. Fantasia was crying because she got the NAACP award for The Color Purple, and she crying, and she said she didn't think she was going to get it. That's why she's crying. You know what I'm saying? More or less crying because she was happy that she got it. She's crying because she couldn't believe she won it. You know, a different type of humility, and I respect it. But you know, it's a shame that, I mean, it's just my personal feeling. I've seen it done to a lot of women in corporate America. I've seen it done. I know you've even talked about in your industry, people getting aged out. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sad thing, because our music is the music that I only want to listen to. I got to get caught up on certain things. I hear something that I'll be like, I don't know what the hell they talking about. You know what I'm saying? But baby,
oh, come on, Bill. You know you can understand the artist of today.
No, I cannot, and I don't even want to try. Hey, talk about being stubborn. I do not even want to try. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to try.
I don't even want to try. And all all due respect to the artist, I mean, it seems like the bag is easier to get back then. I mean, get it now than it is for you guys now. But let me ask you a question, Alyson. Is it really? Because I mean, it seems like our music is still generated, and you are to a certain degree part of 50 years of hip hop, even though they haven't really acknowledged you. But 50 years of hip hop was a different thing. But the bottom line is, I feel like artists like yourselves should be working all the time. I mean, excuse me if I'm wrong, but you should be working all the time because of the songs are timeless. What's your thoughts on that?
The songs are timeless, but we as human beings have a life expectancy in terms of our shelf life. So I believe that I wish I was working more, and I wish that for a lot of my colleagues and counterparts that came out with music at the same time, where we're 30 and 40 years into it, our music is still great, you still want to hear us, but are you going to come out and spend the money? Are you well enough to come out and sit somewhere for 2 hours and then hit it back to the house? Sometimes that plays a part, because you have to understand our fan base are people that are just around the same age as we are. So if you're hitting 60 or in your late 50s, you got kids, you got a job, you got a lot of other responsibilities that you might not have had when this music first came out and you was doing the running man at the club. I think that plays a part in it. So the promoters want to go with the people that are going to spend their money easier. Obviously, there's a buzz going on about who's new and who's this and who's that. And there's an audience that wants to come out and see them. So if you're a promoter and you want to stay in the game and make money, you're going to have to find a way to promote some of these younger acts. You might not give a dang about what they really are or believe that they even bring a true essence of talent, but that's how you're making a dollar.
Yeah.
And then there are other promoters who specialize in the quote unquote old school. If you don't want to say old school, you want to say our well, old school is the best word I can think of right now. I'm not ashamed of old school. I like it. There was old school before me, and I'm lucky enough to still be here and be considered old school.
Right. So
all you got to do is stop having birthdays and then see how you feel. You're not going to be able to tell me much, but I'm just saying. We complain until we can't. And when you can't, then it's over.
Listen, it's good to be acknowledged with heavenly birthday, but I still like mine happy birthday right now.
Thank you. For as long as I can, please. Let's just keep it on that.
Yeah, let me just keep it happy. Respect all.
But I see in the last couple of years, it's difficult to use. What barometer do you use when you come out of a pandemic of who's getting a chance to continue to go or continue in an upward motion when it comes to how I'm out there singing, where I'm out there singing? We have venues that we never had before. We had venues that used to be that are no more.
Right.
So you got to figure out what has survived, and we're even though we're not quarantined anymore, we are still battling the effects of what the pandemic brought. Absolutely. In terms of the halting of work across the board for creatives. So
Stefania asks a question or makes a statement, and I mean, I know, we both know her very well, so I'm just going to put it out there in the universe. If you want to comment on it, she says, speaking of being aged out, that's allegedly what happened to Shayla at WBLS. Hence, that's why she's suing. And you know what? It's a shame, for that situation. And I hope, Shayla get all she can get, because that's my Capricorn sister. And I think she's at, is she at 94.7 the block or whatever? I think wherever she is, I wish her all the best. That's our friend. We both know her well.
Absolutely. And for years, people have made us twins. We always look at each other and go, why do people keep coming up to me saying Alyson, and they do the same thing to her and the same thing to me? What, Shayla? Oh. But the brown skin chocolate sisters. What can I say? I like you, Bill. wish her the best. And if that is the case, that is an ageism situation, then BLS, shame on you.
Yeah,
Shame on you.
absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes is real ruthless.
Yeah. Bill, can I ask you to do a public service announcement? I have to slip into the kitchen, turn something off the stove, and get some water.
Go ahead. Yeah, so definitely, I got it from here. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Alyson Williams, and we have a Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Shout out to all the women celebrating your month. It's your month every month. It's just like people talk about Black History Month. For those people that see my posts daily, I always put like Black History Month toward this month because it doesn't have to just stay with Black History Month. I started off earlier talking about some politics, and I also talked about what your thoughts on politics, and then Alice and I, we jumped into this realm of what were your thoughts on Taraji P. Henson talking about equal pay for artists. Also, does that happen in the music industry too? And is it fair, especially when we start talking about A-list artists like Denzel, and Robert Downey Jr. When they come to the table, I wonder what kind of money is talked about between them two. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure you ain't gonna tell Denzel I'm giving Robert 50 million and you only get 20 million. Now you can tell me that. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna, I don't think Denzel gonna play that game. And especially him having, I think, more body of work. I don't know if he has more awards. He may have more nominations than Robert Downey Jr. Because Robert, I think that, and I'm just using Robert Downey Jr. Somebody don't be going out here saying Bill tried to get stuff going on between Denzel and Robert Downey Jr. I'm just using two A-list artists that I think everybody knows their name. Also, I was just going to ask you, Alyson, do you think Will Smith? Thank you, Joe. 97.4. That's what she is. 97.4. Alyson, do you think Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, will he ever be able to resurrect his career? Because it seemed like he had an awesome movie out. Shout out to my little brother, Mustafa Shakur, that was in it, that played against him. It was the war movie, and he did not. A lot of people didn't even talk about it, and I heard it was an excellent movie. But I don't think it got it got the buzz or the notoriety that it was supposed to. Diane Lisa said, Alyson, we are blessed to continue to have your voice. Exactly. So she was giving you a nice shout out,
Thank you so much. And thank you. Keep me in your prayers that I continue to be, folks want to come out and see me, and I'm available and able to, pull it together and throw on some lashes and some high heels and kick it,
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think? You think he will ever regroup from the infamous slap her scene around the world? Or do you even care? I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not trying to put you into anything. So let's just keep it. Do you think he will ever regroup?
Knowing how this industry is and how this world is, I think that he will be able to regroup. I think everybody deserves a second chance. I think he made a poor choice, and he acted out of something that was going on that he could have counted to 10. He'd have made a different decision, I believe. And like I said, we see people recover from the worst stuff ever all the time.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Why is there even a Trump in the equation after everything? But we got to talk about him every day.
Yeah.
So, he's vying for a second chance.
Yeah. Let me ask you, do you think we were hard, people of color were harder on him than other people? Because I mean, I caught feelings. I don't know Will Smith. I know a lot of people in the industry, but I don't know him. But I took it from a standpoint I mean, don't get me wrong. A Bad Boy movie come on or a Hitch movie come on, I watch it in a minute because those are some of my favorite movies. But I took it like he was really kind of picked, and I'm talking my personal feelings. I felt like you kind of knew who you were slapping, and that's why you did it. You know, we only do a lot of things that we know we can do. I ain't see like, you know, we can always talk about that if you know if that was 50 Cent or and I'm not trying to bring up something old, but I'm just saying this, that was 50 Cent up there or or Mike Tyson, he would have took that joke and he would have been laughing harder. You know what I'm trying to say? So I just that was my personal feeling. I mean, I did not, and then it was so funny. You know, strategically, you know, he came out with his sorry when his movie dropped. So I mean, things are done strategically. I mean, I don't know. I'm personally, you know, like I said, the worst. That's not the worst he could have done. There's people out here that's doing worse. So you know,
I think that there's not a day he wakes up and doesn't regret that particular choice, and that's punishment right there. But you know, it's gonna play itself out.
But look what my man said right here. Darren said and you're so right. He said Isaiah Washington has never recovered from talking about calling a man a F word on a movie set. There was what was the name? What was the movie? The TV show they were on, and he called a man an F word because of his sexual preference.
Who did this?
Isaiah Washington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he called a derogatory gay slur. Okay.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, and exactly. And then I haven't seen him work since then. And my man Darren said, I cannot watch a Will Smith movie anymore because he embarrassed us as a people. It was Grey Anatomy. Thanks, Melvin. Thanks, Stefania. It was Grey Anatomy. And you're right. He has never recovered from that. I don't know how he's making any money. I don't even know. Grey Anatomy still on, so it's not. I don't know if he has something in his contract. He getting some residual income or something, but
yeah. Like I said, it's gonna play out. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
Yeah. And what do you think about no, I mean Darren, I get it. What do you think about Darren's comment that he embarrassed us as people? I do agree with that too. I do feel that way.
Once again, you could have made a better choice. There was 1,000 other ways you could have went. Isaiah could have chose something different to come out his mouth. Will could have kept his seat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a lot of different ways that things can be handled. But whenever anytime, if you can tell me a time when it didn't turn out this time like this, if you ever look at a time when you resort to aggression or condescension or to violence, it's going to turn out poorly.
Yeah.
It's going to turn out poorly.
Very much.
Sometimes it's the bullet that need to be shot. You know. Yeah. Sometimes you need to pull that trigger. But when there's another way that it can be handled, and you still choose to go, you know, with hyper aggression like that, that's the price you pay. There's a consequence for that.
Yeah. You know, that was that old cliche. I can see an old lady or an old man sitting there talking about, see, I told you, we don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's where it comes into saying it's an embarrassment for us as a group, as a race or nation of people, is that particular night, for those who didn't know, that particular night was, I think, the first time that there was an African American in charge of the directing of the whole shebangy, from backstage to front stage, you know what I'm saying, for the whole event. And we had a black crew across the board, or everything that was happening, there was a black or a brown hand making it happen. And then for that to happen,
that was crazy.
Talk about the worst timing ever, when all eyes are on you.
Yeah. So Ali, let me ask you a question. I want you to give me some examples of women that have been and since it's Women's Month, and we got a few minutes left, give me some examples or some people that have been uh, instrumental influencing you in just your life. You know, it doesn't have to be career wise. They can be people in the industry. They could be household names, and they may not. But just I'll let you give some take three. Well, I'm sure they might be. I'll give you good five, 3 or 5, and just tell us a little bit of who they are and how they were instrumental in your life for Women's Month.
I would have to say I'd have to start with my mother,
Right.
Shirley Marcella Williams, who was my biggest influence because she not only inspired me, but she nurtured me. You know, she made me know that I could dream big and that I could, if this show business thing was what I wanted, that I could have it. But then she never held me back. She never said, well, now, you might need to go to nursing school, and not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a choice.
Yeah,
or you may want to, you sure you want to go into show business? Don't you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or a teacher or something where there's a little more stability? You know what I'm saying? She didn't tell me that. She told me that this industry could be unstable, but if this is what you want, and I can clearly see that God gave you a gift, and you wanna hone that craft, then I'm gonna give you everything you can to help you do it. And I'm thankful for her for that. I'm thankful that she taught me how to be a lady. I would if I was lucky enough, I was gonna grow to be a woman, but to be a lady with class and style, and just to carry myself in a way that is not going to, like your other listener said, our other person said, that's not going to embarrass us as a people. I was raised to always want to be someone people could be proud of, whether they knew me or not, whether they related to or not. So I'm thankful to her for all of those things. As I grew, I always had strong women, whether they were aunts, godparents, friends of my mother's, friends of my dad's, strong women that poured into me in the same way. They let me know that whatever you want, you can make it happen. And if this thing that you're trying to pursue, this entertainment thing is what you want, we're going to nurture you in whatever way we can. Whether we buy a ticket to come see you, or we make sure you have pretty gowns, or we try to tell you how to handle yourself when you out there in these streets, per se. That you're going to come up against a lot of adverse situations, and you need to be able to know how to handle yourself. As I grew in the industry and began to meet people like Valerie Simpson, who is an angel. I call her my angel on earth, because there have been so many situations where I might need help or guidance, or just to be shifted to go this way as opposed to that way, and I can depend on her for that, whether I ask for it or not. She's a person who keeps her eye on me, and I'm thankful. I was blessed to have people like Nancy Wilson in my life. She played a great deal as a mentor, who was in the business. But what I loved about her is I could sit and talk with her about things that I only read about. And then she would give me the version that she could give me from having been in the room. And then I'd go back to those books and flip those pages, and there'd be a picture that documented it.
Right.
And it would just freak me out. And it was always, it was so far, it was so much deeper than, well, you need to sing this, or you need to pick material like that, or you need to dress like this. It was so much, it went far and beyond the what we shared as women who sing. Same thing with Shaka Khan. Shaka is a sister friend of mine that is, I call her my auntie, mama, sister friend, because she thinks she's your mama and your auntie and your sister, and she's your friend, and she can wear all those hats. Dr. Maya Angelou.
I was waiting for that one. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I had to say the best for last.
absolutely.
Dr. Maya Angelou made an impact on my life only because I think not no I won't say only because I think more so because I always envisioned that I would know this woman. I would lay on the bed with my hands and my face in my hands, my chin in my palms, and I'd go, wow, I'd really there were people I wanted. That how Wendy used to say, friend in my head. She's a friend in my head.
Absolutely.
Dr. Maya Angelou, I wanted that energy in my life, and it came to be.
Mm.
It came to be, and then she became the gift that just kept on giving, even in her transition into ancestralism as an ancestor, transition to the other side. She continues to pour into my life and open doors and put people in my path. And she was just that kind of phenomenal woman. But I'm blessed to have many phenomenal women. I send a shout out to Malika because she is my sister friend,
Yes,
and she
thank you.
loves on you,
Yeah, absolutely.
and she makes you a better and a stronger man.
Yep.
And to all the women out there, that are mothers and grandmothers and aunties and god sisters and godmothers and goddaughters and cousins and good Judy girlfriends and all of you. Wives, did I say wives? Yes, all of you, and that hold down all the various vocations, whether it's in academia or politics, or whether it's in entertainment, whatever it is that we do, raising children, being part of various communities. I pray that we're always able to be a beacon of light, and that people can always look up to the women of the nation, because we need to be celebrated. We deserve to be celebrated.
That's an awesome, 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 awesome. And that will conclude our evening. Next week, we have Dr. Scott. No, not Dr. Scott. I don't know why I keep calling her. I'm thinking of Marilyn's sister. Rest in peace, my cousin Carolyn Scott. But we're having Teresa Mack, Dr. Teresa Mack, and I think her husband Jay Mack will be with us. So we added that more doctors to the Real Talk family. I try to get them in as much as I can now, because I'm a restaurateur. A lot of my time is spent there. Stefania, when you coming to see me, you don't have any excuse now. Come see Malika and I'll get Colin out.
And listen, I want to congratulate you, Bill, on your entrepreneurship game. It's just peaked. I won't say it peaked, but it just went on. It zoomed up. It's like we need another barometer, because you done popped out of that one.
Yeah.
All the mercury is out of the ball,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't wait to come up. When I come, I'm going to come and visit you. I hope I spend enough time. I'll come. I want to host one of your Thursday nights for you.
Absolutely. I would love that, because you would love that.
I want to call a list and sing some songs. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Beautiful tribute to our sisters. Darren said that was a beautiful tribute. Absolutely. Melvin said, great show tonight. Thank you. Everybody, Melvin is definitely ride or die for Alyson, and he's a good man, and I appreciate.
Yeah, he keeps me together. He keeps me together. And thanks, Bill. I know I haven't been on since before the holidays and into the new year, and I just think that it was apropos that I come back for Women's Month, and hopefully I won't be so busy.
Yeah.
And I'll get settled into my new digs, and I'll have the time to think clearly, and know that on the third Monday at 7:00 you need to be somewhere.
Yeah. And everybody, she reached out to me. I didn't even have to reach out to her. She was like, "Yo."
No, listen, because for 2 months I've been Florida Evans going damn, because I knew what I had to do, and I knew when I had to do it. When I looked up, it was 9:30. I was like, why?
Yeah, it was so funny. Vanessa
Why?
Vanessa gave you
and once you say why enough times in that voice, in that shrill, you just go, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. You got to remember, even if you just got to put on a hat and come in the office and just sit down, you don't have to make a production. This is the first time I've been on Real Talk with real no makeup.
But it's all right.
It's all natural.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Vanessa says, thank you, sis, for reminding us of what's most important. Strong Black women supporting each other. Epic, definitely. Sylvia said, Bill, I'm so happy and proud of you. What are you doing? Thank you. I'm trying to keep it popping. Stefania said, great show. Thank you, Stefania. You're a great supporter. We will definitely talk about that train situation. I just didn't want to shift the paradigm about the man. We'll get on that Wednesday. Hopefully we log on. We can talk about the man that got shot and on the train. You know, sometimes the moral of that story is don't write a check that you know what can't cash. And with that being said, real talk. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Please enjoy life. Stay safe. Next Monday, you have Teresa. There I go again. Teresa Mack, Dr. Teresa Mack joining us. So tune in if you have your health questions. Now I got two doctors. I got the second of the month and the fourth of the month. Don't play yourself. You got health questions. You can get them answered at Real Talk Chronicles. Good night, everybody. Tell them, right?
Good night, babies. Take care, all your listeners, all your viewers. Thank you for supporting Real Talk Chronicles. It's always my pleasure to be here with my friend Bill Foster. I wish you love and light, peace and blessings, miracles and music, and above all, joy.
There you go.
Happy Women's History Month. Peace.
Thank you. Yeah.